Vice Chair Hernandez.
Thank you. Good morning. I have questions about these exceptions that are included in the bill. Well, I'm sorry, let me back up. To the definitions that are stated at the beginning of the bill, defining male and female. Where do those definitions come from?
These were part of a Montana legislation that drills down into the notion that, you know, a female can or should or could produce eggs, and the same with a male.
So they're identical to the legislation that was passed during the 89th regular session?
They are not. They're
Different. Mm-hmm. So we're creating different definitions for male and female in code under this bill.
Yes.
Okay. And then also noticeably absent is intersex individuals. How does this apply to them?
I think it depends on if you recognize whether there are two biological sexes.
You think there are only two?
I do.
So intersex individuals don't exist? No, I don't mean that in a joking way. I'm really addressing this. I mean, there are individuals that are intersex. How are they addressing this? We can't pretend they don't exist.
I think that in a lot of instances, they are accommodated by single-use bathroom facilities.
Is that addressed in the bill?
Those accommodations are spelled out in there.
So it says if you're an intersex individual, you have to use a single occupancy?
It does not say that, no.
Okay. So that could be problematic in the enforcement of this bill.
Perhaps.
And there's no enforcement guidance included, is that correct?
It is a private person.
Like how would someone know whether an individual is a male or a female? Just by the way they look?
Yes. In this case.
So there are all these enforcements and penalties, and we're going to go by someone's opinion of how someone looks?
The purpose of the bill is to ensure that biological females and biological males that have to share a multiple use space have that space assigned and dedicated to their use.
I understand your stated purpose of the bill. I think there's a problem with enforcement guidance, and we can't go just by the way someone looks and making a complaint that a person doesn't look like a man or a woman. Also, I have questions about the exceptions on page 4 and 5. It says that the designation of a multi-occupancy private space under this section does not apply to a child who is 9 years of age or younger. Why 9?
That was established as being the age that most children and their parents feel comfortable taking them into a same-sex bathroom.
Again, I think there's a problem there with the enforcement guidance. So as a mother of a boy, if I have a 10-year-old boy, so I would be in violation if I decide I am at an airport, at a convention center, some public building, and cannot take my 10-year-old son with me.
It would be
I would be in violation.
It would be up to someone to challenge that, yes.
Okay, and so we're kind of encroaching on parental rights as well, aren't we? What I decide to do with my 10-year-old son in a public space, if I feel that he should be going into the women's restroom with me because that's where I feel he's safe.
It would be up to an individual to challenge that.
An individual, how would they know my son's age? If he's short, if he's tall? Moving on to the shelters. It says prohibited services at certain family shelters, that a family violence shelter designated specifically to provide services to female victims of family violence may only provide services to an individual whose sex is female and to an individual who is 16 years of age or younger. So, example of a mother with a special needs child that's over the age of 18, but for whom they're still the guardian, they would not be able to seek help or assistance at a women's shelter?
It's actually 17, not 16. I've heard that concern. I think that's something that definitely needs to be looked at.
Okay, so we'll look at language to address that.
Yes.
Did I?
She said.
Yes, okay, thank you.